from people who actually work on the cars itself. You X out the most important ingredient, which are the mechanics who work on these cars on an everyday basis. They are the ones who will give you the best advice, in my humble opinion, because if you're going to go about purchasing a car, whether new or used, you still, in my humble opinion, request the information and the expertise from the mechanics who have been trained to work on these vehicles over the course of their period of their lifetime. Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Parts Talk. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Today we're going to be looking into Consumer Reports giving their data on which EVs are the least reliable. And since Tesla most recently has dropped their price in order to maximize sales, that has caused a spike in the demand of their electric cars. Now, without further ado, let's go directly into this video.
Shona? All right, well, while demand for electric vehicles has surged in the last 2 years, new data from Consumer Reports finding that EVs are among the least reliable cars in the auto industry. Pross Supermanian here with the details, and Pross, clearly something that the auto industry doesn't necessarily want to hear.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to hear that because EVs, generally speaking, are simpler, more easy to operate than a regular gas-powered car. But, I'm not surprised to hear about Tesla's issues with reliability here. So they found that owners of the Consumer Reports survey, that they surveyed a bunch of their users and on all different models and all different makes of cars. They found that for Tesla in particular, issues with body hardware, steering suspension, paint and trim, and climate systems on the models were of most concern. Rick and I tested the Model 3 a few years back, and we found a lot of issues with fit and finish and parts on the inside of the car. Still, Tesla still...
Let me go back a little, because looking at the list right here, and he's showing the 5 most reliable manufacturers right now, and leading the pack is Toyota, as you know, Lexus, BMW, Mazda, Honda. Not sure why BMW is there, because I owned one and it had a lot of problems, especially with cooling problems after 100,000 kilometers, and a lot of people can attest to that. However, if you're in the market to buy something, I suggest, and I've been telling people over and over again, is to wait on these traditional manufacturers who are buying their time and not rushing into the EV space as it is right now, because one, I think they're overpriced, and two, reliability and some of the nuances that comes along with it. Because I'm looking to encourage a lot of people who want to go into business to get a tow truck, because significantly you cannot push an electric vehicle whenever that battery goes down or you have a breakdown on the road. You simply just cannot get it off, because in the past all these other vehicles were designed for 5 or 6 men to come along and push it off the side of the road in case you break down or have a particular issue. And then in today's modern technology, there is a way how you can actually use the seat belt, wrap it again to close the door, and then push that car yourself. But with the weight of the current EVs that are out there, it's totally challenging to do that all on your own. Let's continue.
A few years back, and we found a lot of issues with fit and finish and parts on the inside of the car. Still, Tesla still rose 4 spots to 19th overall, which isn't that great, but at least it did climb with the rankings. For non-Tesla EVs, there was issues with charging and batteries and also the motor, so that doesn't sound good. So that's kind of a little black mark there for EVs. Overall, pickup trucks were bad overall in terms of the gas-powered cars. Looking at the overall picture, we just saw that list up there. Toyota and Lexus were taking the top spot. They've been there for a while now, very reliable cars. BMW number 3, I was really surprised to see that. Kind of speaks to what they're doing with the brand.
Yeah, and I said that earlier. BMW is a surprising number 3 there, but we're going to go into the reason how they got there based on Consumer Reports.
And improved reliability and that better kind of first interaction with the car, followed by Mazda and Honda. So 7 of the top 10 brands here were actually Asian companies. So this rounds out the top 5 here with Mazda and Honda at 4 and 5.
I also need to take into consideration the resale value of these particular models itself. Toyota again leads the pack, Lexus the ever reliable vehicles that are always there, and sadly Lexus are amongst the most highest in terms of auto theft in the market right now. If you own a Lexus SUV, particular RX 350, any of the NX250 series SUVs, then you may want to rethink the security features on those vehicles and get additional security if you live in a particular region of the city.
Interesting. All right, most reliable EVs also compiled. Who came out on top? Anything surprised you here?
Most reliable EVs?
Hybrids.
Yeah. Yeah, so it turns out hybrids are actually very, very reliable. Talk about non-plug-in hybrids, like think the Priuses of the world, things like that. So, Consumer Reports put together 3 of their top hybrids here. The Lexus NX came out a few years ago. It's in the premium luxury segment here. Very nice car, attractive car, good mileage there. The Ford Maverick, now we actually have...
What he should have done is actually tell us the differences. You have BEVs and then you have hybrids. BEV stands for battery electric vehicles, and then you have hybrids that uses both battery and gasoline powered. And as you know, it serves better if you live in an urban area around the city, not for long distances. However, in stop and go traffic, you get the best results out of these particular vehicles.
Truck. It is a small, compact utility pickup truck, unibody construction, 38 mpg with hybrid. Yeah, quite
38 miles.
A smooth car, really good fit and finish. And lastly, Toy Corolla, can't go wrong here. Not surprising from Toyota, they make the Prius, as you mentioned. This car gets 48 mpg.
Boy, that is some astounding numbers. Reliability is what those cars are all about. Proud to remain our senior autos reporter. Good to see you, sir. Thank you.
One of the issues I have with the Consumer Reports is that you have to understand exactly how it works. And I went to autohowstuffworks.com, and let me give you a brief synopsis of how Consumer Reports actually gather their data. So first of all, these ratings, Consumer Reports looks at data from hundreds of thousands of car owners. It actually looks at many different car models and reports separately on models with different engines or trim lines. It works independently from automakers, so it doesn't need to worry about losing advertising sales for giving a vehicle a poor rating. And it interprets its findings without having to report them back to the automakers. So it reports all the data it collects, not just the data it collects on the cars, with the best results. So basically, they're asking the owners instead. It goes on further to say, unlike J.D. Power's survey based on the first 90 days of ownership and its vehicle dependability, studies which track 3-year-old vehicles. The Consumer Reports survey asks for subscribers' opinion about their cars over the course of the last 12 months. Now, the issue I have with this, they're asking the owners, yes, the persons who are actually driving the vehicle every day, but at the same time now, a lot of those reports can also be biased, because if I am driving my dream car and I love this car, I'm going to find every single reason as to how to give it a particular rating, especially if you paid a hefty sum for it. If you go down into the article a little further, it tells you how the rankings are done. It says first, it sends out surveys to ask consumers about the overall performances of their vehicles. Second, it checks this data against its own tests, which are conducted on a test track. Now, the Consumer Reports actually collects its data from a questionnaire that is mailed to subscribers of both its website and its magazine. In 2009, the survey was sent to over 7 million subscribers and 1.4 million responses were received. The survey is created by a staff of social scientists who also consult with automotive engineers and statisticians at the Consumer Reviews National Research Center. Another issue I have with this, they don't question the people or gather the data from people who actually work on the cars itself. You X out the most important ingredient, which are the mechanics who work on these cars on an everyday basis. They are the ones who will give you the best advice, in my humble opinion, because if you're going to go about purchasing a car, whether new or used, you still, in my humble opinion, request the information and the expertise from the mechanics who have been trained to work on these vehicles over the course of their period of their lifetime. So I think a little more information is needed when we gather them, but at the same time, no, we have to give credit where credit is due, and that is of the people who help to keep this world moving every single day. So let me know what you think, and if you want more information about particular vehicles itself, I also did a video some time ago on yourmechanic.com. I will leave the link in the description box below so you can go there and check them out, and they give extensive information on the various models out there, the various vehicles out there, the reliability, the dependability, and what vehicles they think are the most reliable for you to be purchasing. And in the comments below, remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.